Hi there, this is David, and welcome to the top 10 best console strategy RPGs that you should play. Over the years, I've played a ton of these games, and while franchises like Fire Emblem might have, 10 fantastic games in and of itself, here I'm only going to showcase the best one in order to expose as many different games to you as humanly possible. And if you like this content and you want more like it, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit all notifications. So with that, let's go ahead and get started listing these great strategy RPGs. Number 10, Sayuki, Journey West, released for the original PlayStation. This massive hidden gem is actually based on a Chinese historical novel, Journey to the West, and it's chock full of real-life history, as well as fantastical mythology, such as Goku and Ashura. The story follows Sancho, a Buddhist monk who travels from China to India, but keep in mind that the religious themes of the plot are pretty heavy-handed, with the goal to rescue Buddha, while Hindu gods stand in your way as antagonists. With an isometric viewpoint and small fighting parties consisting of named characters, each with their own assigned classes, every party member is a mythological being of some sort and is associated with one of the 5 traditional elements of Chinese culture. So there's no permadeath here, and you can have a boatload of fun. Number 9. The Arc The Land Trilogy, released for the original PlayStation. Back in the day, whenever you bought a game from Working Designs, you knew that you were getting quality. Not only did their games come with hardcover manuals and trinkets, but oftentimes you would get multiple games packed together in one. Here, you got all 3 fantastic strategy RPGs together in one package, and they are well worth it, with each building upon the last. Battles take place in a grid-based system, and characters are locked into specific classes. It is old school, but worth it. Also, they all take place in the same world and around the same time period too. So characters from different games will make appearances throughout and also join up with your heroes. This truly made me feel immersed into the world and actually care about its inhabitants. Number 8. Growlancer Generations, released for the PlayStation 2. There are 6 total Growlancer games out there, and all of them are pretty great. But with this one, you get 2 games for the price of 1. Most of the series actually wasn't localized, but I am forever grateful for the ones that we did get, especially with the great handling from, again, Working Designs, who stepped in and localized the original PlayStation games here for the PS2. This is a compilation of the second and third games, and it utilizes a real-time strategy, similar to Davidvinc Chronicle that was recently released. The ring weapon system allows for tons of customization for your characters, and central to the plot is the dating mechanic, where your love interest changes based upon your choices, and you can get a different ending depending on which girl you choose to romance. Number 7. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, released for the Nintendo Switch. Fire Emblem got off to a rocky start here in the West, and also with me. I remember reading about it in Nintendo Power back whenever it was being released on the NES and the SNES. However, it was only first released here in America whenever I was in college, and then on the Game Boy Advance. It was still firmly entrenched in the grid-based rock, paper, scissors permadeath combat system. But I am super happy to see that it's changed over the past 20 or so years, getting rid of permadeath, and having much more variety in its battle system, and actually having real storylines with real character development and real choices. 3 Houses is the culmination of all those changes, with a riveting story, 3 different choices of heroes to align with, and tons of students to bond with. Fire Emblem can only get better from here. Number 6. Treasure Hunter G, released for the SNES. This was released extremely late in the SNES's life cycle, and it's a collaboration between Rare and Square, utilizing the hardware to best advantage. This is one of the best looking games on the system, starring Red and Blue of Saga Frontier fame, as they cross the world looking for their long-lost father, and subsequently putting a stop to the Dark King's ambitions. Unlike most strategy RPGs that you're going to see on this list, here you only control 4 party members, but you explore towns and dungeons just like you would in a traditional JRPG. But whenever you encounter monsters, you fight it out on a small-scale tactical battle system. All 4 of your characters fight differently though, from Red being your melee, to Blue setting traps and jumping around the field like a dragoon, Terrain healing you up, and little Ponga being your awesome monkey black mage. Number 5. Valhalla Chronicles 4, released for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox, and PC. Now, there are plenty of games in this illustrious series, but I dare say that they only get better with each iteration, and the 4th game is more than likely the best of them all. Fortunately, you don't need to have played the previous games to enjoy this version. Valhalla Chronicles 4 takes place in the same world as the other Valhalla Chronicles games, but it has a completely separate plot in an alternate timeline from our own set during World War II. It's a slice of life, taking place in the same timeline as the original Valhalla Chronicles, but it instead focuses on Squad E of the Federation, and it has the most polish and content, but it's coupled with the same charm and challenge that you've come to expect from this series. Number 4. Triangle Strategy, released for the Nintendo Switch and PC. Here we have a really fun game in the same vein as Tactics Ogre or Final Fantasy Tactics, but done for the modern age with fast forwarding, cutscene skips, tons of different characters, no generic units, and no permadeath, along with those gorgeous HD 2D graphics too. And there are many points where the story branches out, with some chapters featuring as many as 4 possible different outcomes. Depending on who you choose to support, you'll be sent off to different regions, recruit different characters, and even get different endings. But it is a bit more story heavy, with exploration scenes and side quests peppered between each battle, so it can be a bit verbose at times, but it's just such a nice upgrade in the genre in every single way. Number 3. Joan of Arc, released for the PSP. Gosh, Level 5 just made the best games. I am so happy that they're coming back to the West. Featuring beautiful cel-shaded graphics, animated cutscenes, and glorified with superb voice acting, this is a true gem. It's just too bad that it's stuck on the PSP, but thank God for emulation. The story loosely follows Joan of Arc and her struggle against the English during the 100 Years' War. However, this being a fantasy video game, they take some liberties, such as demonic possession and magical powers, but it does have a grid-based, turn-based battle system, taking a page out of Fire Emblem's book with that rock, paper, scissors system, but again, without that permadeath. Each playable character pretty much has their own job class, and it's up to you to see how to best use them. Can you save France from the unjust, ruthless English occupation? Find out in this gem from Level 5. Number 2. Tactics Ogre, released for the PlayStation, PSP, and remastered for the PS4, PS5, Switch, and PC. If it wasn't for this game, the strategy RPG genre as we know it today simply really wouldn't exist. Square Enix basically took the game, simplified the mechanics a bit, and then wholesale adapted the main premise, and boom, we got Final Fantasy Tactics. Tactics Ogre, though, tells an adult storyline filled with political intrigue, choices that actually matter, and a robust job system. It's all just done so right. Keep in mind, though, that each version of the game is distinctly different. The PlayStation version plays most like the original Final Fantasy Tactics, the PSP version changes how you level up, and the Reborn version greatly increases the difficulty. So pick your poison and go have some fun. And number 1, Final Fantasy Tactics, released for the PlayStation and remastered for the PSP. Back in the day, strategy RPGs just didn't really exist on the NES and SNES, at least over here in America. So even though I was about 15 years old when this first came out, it was the first strategy RPG that I ever played, and it single-handedly made me fall in love with the genre. To this day, I still believe that it hasn't really ever been topped. I've played through this more times than I can count, with all sorts of different challenges and restrictions, so it still never gets old. Introduced in the land of Ivalice, this tells a story of political intrigue, backstabbing, friendship, and family. As you travel across the lands, you'll get to fight battles with all sorts of traditional Final Fantasy jobs that seminal series is so well known for. So, that's it for the top 10 best console strategy RPGs that you really need to play. What are your favorite strategy RPGs? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video and what I do on the channel, please consider following me over on Twitter, supporting me on Patreon for exclusive videos and early access to my content, heading on over to Twitch for some streaming fun, or coming on over to my Discord to chat and hang out. The links to them all can be found in the video description. This has been David, and if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a good day.